Am I the a-hole for not wanting to spend my lottery winning on a new car for my boyfriend? Recently, I, female 26, have won quite a lot of money in lottery. It's not the main prize, but it was one of the top 3, and it's a life-changing amount in my country. I grew up poor, very poor, and while I worked my way up, my closest family is still struggling. I help, but I cannot fix everything. At least I couldn't before. My winnings were recently deposited to my bank account, completely separate one to my normal one, and I'm not touching that money until I have my meeting with my financial advisors that I hired. My plan is to use small amounts of money to enjoy, use part to improve my family's life, like buying them flats that they can later on afford to upkeep but in safer place and of better quality, and invest the vast majority in different ventures to ensure a stream of revenue for years to come so I can live comfortably and help my family. The only people that know are my closest family and my boyfriend, Andy, male 30. We've been together for 7 months, but we don't live together. Andy has different plans though. He basically came up with a list of items he needs and have been pressuring me into getting them before I even speak to my advisors. Basically, he wants a new car. Stereotypically, he wants something like a Tesla, which he absolutely doesn't need. He wants us to move in together and for me to buy a house with a pool. He's now starting talking about kids, that we can afford them blah blah, even though he knows that I am child-free. I've been refusing every single request, telling him that necessities come first and that money is under lock and key until I speak with my financial advisors. He's not very happy about this. He's been calling me a Scrooge, telling him I don't love him anymore, and calling me a cheapskate. Worst of all, he now told every one of our friends about this, and they've started pressuring me as well, asking me to fund nights out, etc. And they've been very cruel when I refuse, a-hole being almost a compliment. I'm devastated. Am I really an a-hole in this situation? Am I the a-hole for not wanting to spend frivolously? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Ditch the boyfriend ASAP. Don't buy him a pack of gum, let alone anything else. He's trying to manipulate you with guilt with "if you love me" and by telling mutual friends about your money. I'm so happy for you, using your money so well. Also, be careful with birth control. Sounds like he's trying to baby trap you. I mean, God, why would you even sleep with someone who is trying to bully you like this? Don't even worry about the birth control. Just completely stay physically away from this guy. Not the a-hole. You are doing the smart thing with this windfall, as well as keeping it to yourself. It's amazing how many people act entitled and the gimmies come out. Your friends are being the a-hole. Your boyfriend is the a-hole. This man and your friends are showing their true colors. He shouldn't be pressuring you for anything. He just wants access to that money. P.S. Consider going no contact or low contact with these friends while you process all this. +1 on your boyfriend and friends being a-holes. Life-changing money can show you who are really the ones that are friends. Friends wouldn't be asking you for money like that and expecting you to give it up so quick. That kind of money, if used frivolously, goes quick. Don't be a pushover. And please drop the boyfriend. It's been less than a year and he's expecting you to buy a car for him? How does that make sense? Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Unfortunately, your boyfriend now sees you as an ATM, not a girlfriend. It's not you. A sudden influx of money shows people's true colors. He and your friends will not leave you alone about this either. They will suck you dry for the money and then dump you. I would dump him and block them, then move ASAP. You need new friends. I thought the exact same thing. Dump him, the friends, and move. I don't think I would feel safe with people knowing where I live. Next story. Am I the a-hole for pretending not to know my fiancé after she had a meltdown during boarding the plane and was eventually thrown off? I imagine I'm gonna get raked over the coals for this one. So, my fiancé, maybe not for much longer, and I were on our way back from a vacation recently. It was a great time, and everything went off without an issue. That is, until we started boarding the plane. Now I know better, so I only bring a small backpack with essentials in case I don't get my checked bags. I can survive out of this backpack, and it will always pass baggage check for size and weight. Done a lot of traveling, so why fight the system? My fiancé didn't want to listen to my advice though, and chose to bring basically a regular sized bag that barely fits the standards of carry-on. but generally speaking, the airline worker doesn't want to deal with the trouble and allows it through. But this time, the airline worker was not having it. It was a packed flight. We were boarding last in economy, and it was just a crap show. I got through just fine first with my little backpack, but I could hear the argument from the boarding tunnel thingy, and it was getting heated. I was about to go back and try to smooth it out, but my fiancé rushed past and just boarded a plane. I assumed, not having heard it super clearly, that the attendant had given in and let her on. That was not a case. So, we found our seats and settled in. I was pretty tired, and I could tell she was upset, so I just kinda tucked into the window and put my hat down and tried to take a nap. But soon after, the airline worker and a cop shows up, and they're not messing around and want her off the plane. She tries to plead and cry, etc., but they're not having it. It may be in a moment of panic or just plain self-preservation. When a cop asked if we're together, I blurted out, "No," shaking my head emphatically. I got killed dagger eyes from her as she shut up and grabbed her bag and followed the cop out. She was also swearing and screaming the whole way out. Now, obviously, this is well after the event that I'm posting this, but when she did eventually get home after she caught the next flight out with the bag checked, lol, I was there to pick her up. She obviously thought I was the a-hole, and to be honest, almost everyone I know thinks I am, except my boss and co-workers, who for context were very much relying on me to be back on time, which I gave my word I would for a really important project that was time sensitive. They were all very happy I didn't get thrown off too. So, am I the a-hole for this self-preservation? Not the a-hole. Get out while you still can. This is how she'll be forever. She'll never learn from this experience. Disagree. Nothing like the humiliation of a cop escorting you off a plane to learn that rules really are a thing. Loss of time, money, and public humiliation are very powerful teachers. And now Opie can reference this whenever she forgets her social decorum. Acting up in a restaurant? Jeez, I hope they don't escort you out of here like they did off that plane. But how is it possible an adult human needs that level of intervention? I have a hard time believing she'll reform. People like that just don't get humiliated. They get indignant and dig in on their wrong position harder. I couldn't deal. I'd be out. Honestly, I was ready to rake you over the coals. But now I'm thinking not the a-hole. This isn't like your fiancé had an anxiety attack over fear flying. It sounds to me like a full-on grown woman temper tantrum, which only happened because she didn't listen to your travel advice. To be fair, I don't travel light either, but I also don't try to put my giant luggage in the overhead bins. She did this to herself. I don't travel light either. I pay extra for luggage on flights. My significant other pokes fun at me about it with his backpack. But I say it's a luxury I choose to pay for. Next time he pokes fun, this story's coming out. Well, would you rather? Not the a-hole, and please seriously consider whether you want events like this to be a normal part of your life. Because someone who reacts like that when she knows she's in the wrong is not going to change. Although, if not for the work thing, and if you wanted to save the relationship, you probably should have gotten off with her. Not because she was anyway in the right, but because she's going to hold this over your head and sulk for a very long time. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have even argued with the airline worker. I'm just not like that. I would have smiled and politely agreed to whatever they wanted. I hate conflicts that are unnecessary. Conflicts like that can get you blacklisted. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that either. Same for the police involvement. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not including my siblings' children in my will even though I'm child-free? I, female 39, have always had an almost non-existent relationship with my half-sister, female 59, and half-brother, male 57, in large due to our age gap, and that our father passed away when I was 2 years old. I grew up with my mother and always saw myself as a single child, even though my mother would talk about my siblings. Starting from when I was 14 years old, my siblings and I have made some attempts to create a relationship, but it has never worked. We are fundamentally different people. And if we didn't share a family connection, I would never have spent time with them. So we are low contact. I had a rocky start in my work life, having a degree I couldn't use. I got back to school for a new degree when I was 30. It worked out good, and I'm today working a high-paying job. For my days living on minimum wage and studying, I have learned to take care of my money. I was recently able to buy my own house, I don't have children, and no expensive hobbies. All this adds up to me being able to put money away each month, which is a big deal for me. Insecurity. When my father passed away, we divided inheritance. So my mother, as they were married, got 50% and us children split the other half equally. My siblings didn't want any of the memorabilia my father collected. Little value but cool things, so I have them now. Anyway, the other day my sister calls me. I'm a little taken aback, but okay, I can live with awkward small talk for 20 minutes. Then out of the blue, she asks me if I have a will. I didn't think, but just blurt out yes. She then asks me if her and my brother's children are the beneficiaries. I'm honest and say no. I have met my brother's 2 girls once when I was about 20 years old. I have never even met my sister's children. She then starts to question who I will leave everything to. I say that father's memorabilia will go to an aviator museum. Some things will be given to close friends as they hold shared memories. The rest is to be sold, and together with my savings be split evenly between an organization helping people with alcohol and drug addiction and cancer research. My sister is livid, telling me that that is money that can make a big difference in my siblings' children's lives. Sure, but I don't feel obligated to provide that for them. If I wanted to leave my money to someone, it would be my boyfriend's son. I have seen him grow up and been like an aunt to him. Now my brother is calling too and saying that I'm being cruel and that I am stealing both the past and the future from his children. So am I the a-hole for not including my siblings' children in my will? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You don't know your siblings' children. They don't know you. You aren't particularly close to your siblings and never have been. It's entitled to the point of being absolutely tacky that they think they can shake you down for money on the basis of shared DNA, which never meant anything to them during your formative years and doesn't mean much now. Not the a-hole. You barely have contact with your sister, and she calls you out of the blue to ask if you have a will? Also, you're only 39. Something sounds fishy, like she wants something. Keep your guard up. 100%. Sounds like someone is banking on OP's money. Not the a-hole. They are 20 years older than you. Why would they expect you to pass earlier than their kids? They had no problem taking their portion of the estate, and you were a minor. So ask them if you should assume they stole from you because you didn't get to grow up with as much financial security with 2 working parents like they did. And how can you steal money that belongs to you? Being child-free is being the rich aunt/uncle's heirs. Last story. Am I the a-hole for feeling entitled to food I did not technically pay for? I, 34 male, recently went to a get-together with some friends of mine. I get along with most everyone within the group, outside of one person who we will call Mike. Mike is someone who I feel is selfish and can be a bully, and I feel it has gotten worse recently. However, we have all been friends since high school, so I put up with it. Well, Mike decides he wants to have everyone over to play some Settlers of Catan. We used to get together a lot more to play board games or Smash Bros or whatnot, but as we all have gotten older, that obviously happened less and less. Fortunately, everyone's schedules lined up and we were able to plan this. Now, it is important for me to insert here that recently I had been off work for a month. It was of no fault of my own, and fortunately I am back to work now. Because of that though, money's really tight for me right now and my friends all knew this. We all go to Mike's to hang out, and it was a great night. We end up staying longer than expected and people get hungry. Some people decide they want to order pizza. They ask if I want to throw in some money for pizza and I say, no, gotta watch what I spend for a bit. Obviously I wanted some and could probably afford it, but I was trying to be responsible. Another friend of mine, we'll call Jake, offered to put in for me but I tell him, no, I will be okay. Maybe this is where I messed up. Anyways, right as they are about to order, I remember that I have a coupon for the place they are ordering from. It had been my birthday a week prior and received it as a gift or something. I let them know I have it and that they can use it and it added on a medium one topping for free. They're excited for it and accept it. I guess it's important to note that I have offered it willingly, not as a trade or bargain. The pizza arrives and everyone digs in. I ask everyone if it's cool if I have some of the medium pizza. At first, Jake and a couple others say yes, but then Mike says, you didn't put any money in. Why are you asking for pizza? I explained that this pizza wouldn't even be here if not for me, but he says that it also wouldn't be here without him because everyone else paid for the other pizza. Jake offered to throw in a few bucks for me again, but Mike said it's BS that I tried to pull this. It really put a damper on the night, and I ended up leaving without having any. Mike sent messages in the group chat about how I tried to pull a fast one on everyone. Most everyone is trying to stay out of it, outside of Jake, who is still sticking by me. I understand that I didn't put money in, but I can't help but feel like he is making way too big a deal about this. So I come to you all. Am I the a-hole? Edit. There appears to be some misunderstanding, but the coupon was spend $20, get a one-topping pizza for free. Not that I just add on one topping to an existing pizza. An entirely new pizza was added. Wow, not the a-hole. Your coupon bought that pizza, so you contributed. But the guy has issues. Who tries to deny a friend food and humiliate them? Absolute prick. Dude, you got them a free medium pizza. Does Mike want to pay you back for that? Unbelievable. Mike is totally the a-hole here. Did he read the first chapter of A Christmas Carol and see a life path? Jesus Christ. Even if the guy hadn't had a freaking coupon, if he were at my house, he'd be eating. Opie's friends angers me too. It is food. Opie, you are not the a-hole by any stretch of the imagination, but you need better friends. Not the a-hole. You didn't assume and take pizza. You asked for a slice of the pizza your coupon provided. My friend group would have looked at you like an alien and go, duh, we aren't just going to eat in front of you. So long as this wasn't a constant thing. Mike doesn't sound like a great friend. Agreed. This whole thing is strange. Someone is having a tough time. Friends help out. If this is how Mike treats a friend, imagine how he treats strangers. Opie, not the a-hole.